I'm going to be in Knoxville by the time this video goes up, so might as well just show the deck I'm playing. Hey, Nick from Nightcart TCG, and today I have another webcam battle. This was from the Webcam War Open number 2 that I hosted with Steuben, and we're going to be showing the deck that I'm playing to Knoxville regions. I do not care if I show you the deck. I'm not... whatever, right? It really doesn't matter. If you know, the odds of you being paired against me is minimal, so whatever. And I'm just gonna go. I love this deck so much, and I really do enjoy playing it. So that's why I've been doing it a lot, and just trying to get some practice for Knoxville, just to go and enjoy myself. But yeah, if you like this, I don't even know what I'm saying. If you want to like, subscribe, comment. Helps the channel a lot, and tells YouTube this is a good channel. Other people should watch it. If you want to participate in the next Webcam War Open, join the Discord. Got the link in the video description. And yeah, let's get straight to the video. All right, here we go. We're getting the setup for this was round number 1, and I managed to start the Lugia. Now I have 2 Archeops in the hand, something that, knowing, if you've ever seen any of my videos or live streams when I was doing it, I don't have that luck. So I get to go first. I start the Lugia. I got 2 Archeops in hand. I remind my opponent to take their mulligan draw because I did mulligan prior to this, and then I top deck the Ultra Ball. I get so hyped because that just never happens. It's unreal for me. Now, one of the things that I have to do, because I see the Meloetta, I know there's a chance that my opponent can very easily just knock out this Lugia. So something to keep in mind, right? They can very easily just go ahead, Lisa Sparkle, attach an energy, and then all they need is 1 power modifier or damage modifier, or a power tablet, a choice belt, something like that. And they're going to be doing 240 damage on their first turn with a single prize Pokemon, because Meloetta, the attack lets you do 70 damage for each Fusion Strike energy attached to all your Pokemon. Elisa Sparkle gets you 2, and then you attach 1 from hand. Very easy to do with setups like Genesect, Fusion Strike system to let you draw a bunch of cards. You got the Forest Seal Stone to find any missing piece of that combo that you need, and you don't even have to worry about getting the Meloetta into the active because they started it. So I immediately put down a Lugia with a double turbo energy. And the reason why I put the double turbo energy onto the Lugia on the bench is because if they do make that play and knock out the active Lugia, I don't want to lose my energies, right? Something to be very careful about with, especially this fusion, like my single strike version of Lugia, is to be mindful of your energies that you can use to attack with non-single strike Pokemon. So I only have 2 double turbos in this deck, and I don't want to lose one of them right away because my opponent happens to get a choice belt or something. So we put it onto the bench. Because the Meloetta is in the active, they can escape rope, and that might force me to bring up my other Lugia, but I had to get a second Lugia just in case they get their turn 1 donk. It's a law of nature that if my opponent plays a Battle VIP Pass in their deck, they will get a Battle VIP Pass when they start. And you can see they're going to start it in the hand. They get rid of a boss and a switch card so that they can use Ultra Ball, probably to find either another Mew or another Genesect. So knowing new players, they'll probably get a 3rd Genesect. Yep, there it is. So you can see the 2 Genesects with the Battle VIP Pass, and then the 3rd Genesect with the Ultra Ball. Technically, the 2 from the VIP Pass will immediately hit the bench, and the Ultra Ball will go to the hand, but they're just going to play it down immediately anyway, so what's the difference? And at this point, my opponent only has 1 or 2 cards in hand, and they got 5 Fusion Strike Pokemon in play, just like that. So they're going to be able to draw quite a few number of cards. Being able to play a supporter on their first turn lets them do the Elisa Sparkle, like we mentioned before. And they run 4 power tablets and at least 1 or 2 choice belts. So the odds of them finding one of their 6 damage modifiers to knock out this Lugia and get 2 easy prizes is pretty good. But I do have 220 health, so they have to find a damage modifier. And I still have the second Lugia, but I do not want to give up 2 prizes that quickly. So you kind of really have to hope that they don't take the KO. Now, if they don't take the KO, we can still use the double Archeops in the discard to go ahead and be able to power up the Lugia V-Star in one go, right? We need a Lugia V-Star, and we can get a double turbo energy and say like a capture energy, and then, you know, just that's already 3. Attach one from hand. I only need one Archeops to power up a Lugia, and I can use the second Archeops to power up, say, the other Lugia on the bench or the Umbreon. My opponent there, though, does have the Fusion Strike energy from hand and the damage modifier, so at this point, all they need is an Elisa Sparkle and just to not have prized more than one, ideally more than one Fusion Strike energy. They also can't draw into too many Fusion Strike energies, because if they do, then they're not going to be able to play Elisa Sparkle and get them from the deck, because that's exactly what it does, because they'll have drawn it into hand. So Cramomatic, they're going to get rid of a VIP pass. Their bench is now full with that 4th and final Genesect. So no reason to play that Battle VIP pass, even though they could. So they're going to go ahead and flip for the Cram. And I don't remember what this was. It's Tailstone, and I know I'm relieved, because that definitely would have been the Elisa Sparkle, and it definitely would have been the Naka. But now they have to either waste more resources, draw, and potentially draw into those Fusion Strike energies like I mentioned. So something to keep in mind. I don't remember. Oh, and there's the Elisa Sparkle, which means as long as they can get 2 Pokemon, you see they designate the benched Mew and the Meloetta, 2 Fusion Strike energies coming out of the deck. There is 1. They go on to the Meloetta first, because at the very least, if the other ones are prized, they'll be able to attack with the Meloetta. If they put it onto the Mew, then they're not doing anything this turn. So at least they'll hit for 170 minimum, right? 140 from the 2 Fusion Strike energies and 30 from the Power Tablet. So that the Elisa Sparkle, I get super, super lucky. Either they're prized or they're in the hand. So don't know where they are, but I do know that they're not on that Meloetta or they're not on the Mew at this point. So my Lugia lives to see another day. Absolutely love to see it. And that's just, oh man, that's just kind of luck right there. There's really not much you can do about it. And you can see me kind of talking about why I put that's exactly why I put the energy onto the benched one, is so that I have it in case you escape rope and you don't get the KO, or you knock out the active. I got the energy ready to go for the following turn. I didn't really just waste it. So we'll see. 170 damage coming my way. It's still not good, right? Because I have to knock out a single prize Pokemon, but I don't really mind. The reason I don't mind knocking out a single prize Pokemon is because I'm going to be knocking out a Vmax, which is going to put me back on an even prize trade, so that all I have to do is knock out a Genesect, and then I'm good to go to win the game, or a Mew V, something like that. So it's going to be pretty easy. I have the Lugia V-Star in hand, so I can immediately evolve the benched Lugia, go ahead, use the Summoning Star, get the 2 Archeops into play, and just kind of keep things going. My deck only runs a 1/1 Umbreon line. Otherwise, I would have loved to have gotten another Umbreon into play, but I do have a Drapion for the Mew Vmax, and I know it's in the deck. It is not prized because it's something I looked for immediately. So we're just trying to figure out here what the best course of action would be. Would it be to power up the Lugia V? I'm asking for that discard just to kind of see about how many power tablets they got rid of. I actually remember that pretty explicitly, even though I recorded this a while ago. So just trying to figure out what I want to do, how likely it'll be that they knock out something like the Lugia V or the V-Star. The V is a guarantee, right? Knocking out the V is a guarantee, but do I want to attack with the V? Because it has 2 attacks. It has Read the Wind and it has something else, I don't remember. But it'll be enough to knock out a Meloetta. So using the V-Star or using the V is a question, and we'll just have to see where I go with this. I guess we're going to figure it out together. You see, I'm kind of picking out the double turbo energy from that first Primal Turbo. Search your deck for 2 special energies and attach them to one of your Pokemon. So just kind of looking through, counting the energies, trying to figure out. It's going to go on to the Lugia V. And it looks like that's all I'm doing from this, from that first. No, I don't know. This is the biggest challenge with doing this. Is what do I don't remember what I did. So now I have to sit there and watch it with you and try to figure it out together. So it looks like I'm going to put double capture energy onto the benched with that Primal Turbo. So the benched Lugia V-Star is ready to go, and then I go ahead, grab that second Primal Turbo, and I'm going to start putting some single strike energies onto the Umbreon. And I'm going to really power this thing up, and I'm going to force them to do something about it. I go with the Irida. Now I play Irida so I can find an item card. I could also find a water Pokemon like Lumineon so I get a supporter for the following turn, but it lets me get an air balloon so that I can get a free retreat and then knock out with the Lugia V-Star, because it's unlikely, at least in my mind, that they're gonna be able to knock out my Lugia V-Star. They need 3 damage modifiers to do it. No, actually they only need 2. 210 plus 30 is 240. Oh, plus 3, plus 2 of them is 270. So yeah, they would need 3 damage modifiers to knock out my 1 Lugia V-Star. And that would be all of their power tablets if they used 3, or at least a good chunk of them. So I kind of feel like they don't got it. So I said I'm going to take my chances, and I'm going to go into this Lugia V-Star. And I choose to use the Irida for those reasons. So Lumineon goes in the hand. No real reason to play it right now. I could have actually, before I Primal Turboed, I could have used the Lumineon to attack into the Meloetta and then put it back into the deck with those energies so that I can save them from later and then, you know, promote something. But I kind of felt like leaving the V-Star in play is really important. They're going to have to deal with this Umbreon, because if they don't, the Umbreon just comes in and takes 3 prizes in one hit. Now, they don't know I run the Drapion, so in their eyes, the Umbreon's actually the biggest threat on the board, and they can very easily knock out the Umbreon with a Techno Blast. So even now they just need 1 damage modifier, right? Techno Blast does 210, the double turbo energy reduces the damage by 20, so it's actually doing 190, and Umbreon has 200 health. So they need a single damage modifier, whether it's just a Choice Belt or a Power Tablet, to actually get the KO on the Umbreon V. You can see my hand there is a Serena, an Urshifu Vmax, and a Lumineon. So I kind of remember where I go with this, but they get another Mew V. I guess they're concerned that maybe there's a chance they don't get a KO here, and then I use the Umbreon to KO the Mew VMAX, and if they don't get another Mew, they're kind of stuck, right? They just lose. So they need another Mew to have an option to attack, and if I don't KO in one hit, then they can use the bench Mew V Psychic Leap. So let me backtrack and paint this. They have a Mew VMAX in, let's say they evolve the active Mew V into Mew VMAX. They hit my Lugia. They don't knock it out. I go back and hit them without KOing their Mew VMAX. They can then use Max Miracle, or Psychic Leap rather, copying the Psychic Leap from the benched Mew V to put the Mew VMAX back into the deck and essentially remove all damage from it. So there is the Power Tablet. They get rid of that. They understand they need a damage modifier to knock out the Umbreon. So it helps it in the hand so they can draw a little bit more with Genesect. And it, like I said, ensures the KO. So Psychic Leap is a play that people have to keep in mind. They have to remember, and you have to kind of play around it. Being able to just completely render your last attack almost useless is very, very scary, and honestly, really frustrating. So they go double Power Tablet. Did not have to do that if they're trying to knock out the Umbreon, but if they're trying to knock out the Lugia, then the double Power Tablet is necessary. So maybe playing it kind of opens your options to Are you going to commit to the Lugia, or are you going to go to the Umbreon depending on what you draw? Do you find the boss to bring up the Umbreon? They get the Forest Steel Stone. They attach that to a Genesect. They got plenty of Genesects to choose from, so it really doesn't matter which one they go with. And then they can just continue to thin the hand, draw more, and then if they don't find what they're looking for, they just use Forest Steel Stone's ability to let them search the deck for any card they want, as if Mew needed more things. I mean, what more does this deck possibly need? There's the Cram, they get rid of a Quick Ball. Again, even if they fail, it's just a good way to thin the hand out of cards they could draw with that 4th Genesect, but they do hit it, which means they can just go ahead and find the boss's orders if they want to knock out this Umbreon, which, again, I really think they need to, but they could go ahead and get another damage modifier to try to knock out this this Lugia V-Star. They need a lot to do it, though. They'd still be a damage modifier short. So, oh, and since they have the double turbo energy, it actually does 20 less. So, I don't think they actually could knock out this this Lugia V-Star. So, they essentially have to do 300 damage. But, you know, they have to do 280, but, you know, minus 20 from the what's it called? The double turbo energy. Just makes it so challenging, and it's one of the things that I'm very glad they whiffed the knockout on the Lugia V their first turn, because they'd already be down 2 prizes, right? They'd only have 4 more, and when they take this Umbreon, that just leaves 1 Pokemon remaining for them to have to KO. That would be terrifying, because that means the Genesect, even if I knock out a Mew Vmax, would be the game. Now, I have the Serena in hand, so what I would have to do, and I don't remember if it is what I do, but what I would do is I'd be able to use the Serena to bring up a Genesect, or bring up the Mew V, more likely, KO that, and then use the Drapion to KO the final Mew Vmax and take my last 3 prizes, because I do have 5 remaining. Mew brings me down, knocking out a Mew, like a Mew V or a Genesect V brings me down to 3. And then the VMAX KO with a Drapion would be the game. So that's kind of how you have to do it. You have to go a little bit out of order here. You know, taking the KOs when they're available is super important. So all the Genesects have been used. My opponent has 3 damage modifiers. They're going to do a lot of damage to whatever they choose. And they do choose the Umbreon. So did they need all of those? No, just a choice belt would have been enough, but who's to say what they, had, what they would have found if they didn't play those other power tablets earlier? Would they have been able to draw into the boss? I have no idea. So my opponent KOs, they go down to 2 prizes, and I go ahead and promote the Lugia V because it does have it has an air balloon, so it's free pivot. Put down a Tower of Darkness just so I could dump that Urshifu VMAX and draw 2 cards. Tower of Darkness is a great consistency card for this deck. Discard a single strike. Oh my goodness. Discard a single strike card from your hand. Draw 2. That could be the difference between finding Archeops or finding an Ultra Ball, Quick Ball, some way of discarding it and not. So we go ahead and we get our Primal Turbo. Now, at this point, I'm starting to realize what my prize map is going to be. And I also want to thin the deck out just a little bit. I am really concerned about the Psychic Leap. So something that we have to keep in mind. I failed that first Primal Turbo, I guess. Right? It looks like I just straight up failed it because I didn't get anything. I didn't get any energies. So I was either running low on energies or just wanted to do a quick deck check. That's something that, being able to search your deck with something like Primal Turbo whenever you want is actually really, really powerful. I decided, you know what? We're just going to go ahead and use the second Primal Turbo and just start to power up this Lugia V, most likely. At least that's what I would do. And I'm just going to get double powerful colorless energies. I get a powerful colorless and a double turbo energy and put it onto the active Lugia V. It's one of those things that now I'm only 1 attachment away from having 2 fully powered Lugias, and it thins the deck out so that if I play a supporter like a Marnie, Research, Serena, something, I'll be able to, I'm not going to draw into those energies, because with Lugia decks, you really do not want to draw into your energies. You really want to keep them in deck so that you can accelerate them out with Primal Turbo. So there we go. That's kind of the whole deal here. So now the remainder question is, what do I attack? Do I attack into this Mew Vmax and kind of hope that they don't Psychic Leap? Which is a bad idea because it's available to them, so you kind of have to expect them to do it. Do I use the Serena to bring up one of those Genesects so that I can take the KO with the Lugia V-Star? I know they have so many power tablets in the discard, so it's not a bad play, because it's very unlikely that they're going to be able to one-shot the Lugia V-Star in return, but I don't. I just discard the cards I had in hand, which does include a Luminion and a Marnie, so that I can just draw. At least I'm pretty sure I get rid of the Luminion, just so I can use Serena as a draw option. And from here we find an Aurora Energy, not a bad thing, just kind of power that up. We get rid of another Lugia V. I'm surprised that's the play I went with, looking back on it. I think the better play would have been to just boss up a Genesect, KO it, before they, especially the one with the fusion, the Forest Seal Stone. Probably the better play. You can see the hand, Serena, Marnie, boss. So that's what I would have done. That's what I should have done, probably, right? But you never know how that would have worked. I would have had a couple of turns before they were able to take enough prizes to really concern me. But I guess finding the Quick Ball or the Ultra Ball is always a worry, so you can get the Drapion, something that you do have to consider. I did not and do not have a means of getting the Drapion immediately, so I just kind of said, I'm gonna put pressure onto this Mew Vmax, and I happened to get lucky and draw into another Serena, so I could make the play where I boss up that Genesect with the Serena and KO it with the Lugia V-Star if they, Psychic Leap. And then when they attack with the Mew Vmax, they get the KO on the Lugia V-Star after they use their first Psychic Leap. The 210 from the Techno Blast would be enough to KO. Psychic Leap would do 80 damage. It does 70 plus 30 from the Choice Belt minus 20 from the Double Turbo would bring us to 80, unless they had another damage modifier. But there is only one more power tablet maximum. They have it, maybe one more. I'm pretty sure it's just one more anyway. So they're not going to do too much with the Psychic Leap. So all I have to do is, if they were to go that route, which I think they probably should go that route, is Psychic Leap, get all that damage off of it, put the Choice Belt back in the deck so you have it, and then just promote something. You could promote a Genesect. But, the Drapion does really let me close this game out kind of easily. They have to attack with their Mew Vmax at this point. Too many Fusion Strike energies are in the discard for Meloetta to be useful, and they're just not able to really do anything. They have to attack with the Mew Vmax, so Drapion just, there we go, just lets me close out a game pretty easily. So I have some lines of play, and I have at least 2 turns to try to find a Drapion, and with a Professor's Research in hand, pretty good, feeling pretty good about it. And I could have used the Luminion that I discarded with the Serena earlier to find a Professor's Research, and I wouldn't have to rely on the Serena to try to find it. I would have been able to not only pull a card out of the deck, pull that Research out of the deck with the Luminion, but then play to draw 7 cards. So we would have had some play, right? We would have had some opportunities here to find that Drapion. Plus, I would have took 2 prizes. You never know. They're gonna go double Lost Vacuum here. Just really try to get cards out of the hand so they can draw with Genesect. They already got rid of my Tower of Darkness. Now they're getting rid of my Air Balloon. You hate to see it. Surprised they run double Vacuum. I really wonder how useful that double Vacuum is in a deck that has Forest Seal Stone. So Genesect number 2 for just 1 or 2 cards, okay. And they do have the Forest Seal Stone. Of course, they draw into an Ultra Ball, so they can just discard 2 more cards. And this is where Fusion Strike system really starts to get annoying, right? I mean, we are a while into this game. And, you know, just like Lost Zone decks, Mew turns can take quite a little time. They do get rid of that final power tablet. I think they realize that without the other ones, they're not going to be able to one-shot a Lugia V-Star anyway, so that one really doesn't make a huge difference. They use it to get the Mew Vmax, and once they evolve the Mew V, Psychic Leap is off the table, so maybe they can retreat into the fresh, healthy Mew Vmax, but either way, they're not one-shotting the Lugia, so there's going to be 2 Mew Vmaxes that are going to be heavily damaged after my next turn. Again, they still might Psychic Leap, promote something else. They have the Forest Seal Stone, so they can go ahead and get a switch, get an Air Balloon, get an Escape Rope to promote. Well, and there we go. I think that's a misplay personally, but you know, that's me. I probably would have played this a little differently, but hey, I don't know what's in their hand. I don't know what's left in their deck. So, you know, maybe it is the better play. Maybe they thought that, you know, they didn't see the Drapion, the Umbreon's gone, I haven't benched another one. Maybe they thought they were out of the woods, and then I would have to go through 2 Mew VMAXs and turn this into a 7-prize game. So, there we go. There is the 2, that's a lot of damage. I guess they played the power tablet. They had to have if I put that. Oh no, that's 190. Never mind. I can't do math. So the 190, we go ahead and we do have an Ultra Ball now to find the Drapion. Now, here I'm comfortable playing the Drapion and attacking with it. Why? Because it's a fresh, healthy Mew. So that means I get 3 prizes, which means no matter what they put up, I'll be able to one-shot it. If they knock out the Lugia V-Star, so I promote the Drapion and attack this Mew VMAX, go down to 2 prizes. If they knock out the Drapion, I have a Lugia V-Star to deal with the Genesect or the other Mew, right? I can knock out either and get another one-shot. If they boss up the Lugia V-Star to deal with that, well then Drapion still takes a one-shot on whatever they give me. So at this point, they are really just out of options. And that's why not putting that, I don't think it would have mattered either way because they can't take a one-shot. So the Psychic Leap doesn't matter too much because they attack with the Mew. I go down to 2 prizes and it really doesn't matter what they give me at that point because the Drapion is just so powerful. And they can't take 4 prizes in a turn, right? They have no way of doing bench damage. So Drapion does require me to put 6 damage counters onto one of my own Pokemon. I choose the Archeops. Why? Because why make it easier for them to KO something? Now, this Genesect, the Mew VMAX can copy Genesect's Techno Blast to one-shot the Drapion. Drapion has 210 health, and that's exactly how much the Techno Blast does. They also have a Choice Belt on there to negate the 20 damage reduction. So they're actually doing 220, which is kind of annoying. They bench another Mew V. It really does not matter at this point. I only have 2 prizes left. No matter what they do, it is going to be game over. So this is a very nice checkmate position. And I think they're going to realize that just any second here. I kind of let, I don't know if I'm showing them or showing you that I have this Serena, but that game's pretty much on lock, and that's going to do it. Yeah, we play it out. I think I'm just showing you. I can't remember. Yeah, okay, so they're going to play this out. They're going to Roxanne. They're going to really try to, I don't know why I thought differently for a moment there, but whatever. They're going to really try to see what they can do. But I have Primal Turbo, right? I just need a Lugia V-Star to attack. They played the Roxanne, so if they do something like, Retreat Escape Rope, I'm going to give them the damaged Archeops. Why? Because it only needs 1 energy to retreat, and if they attack, they KO it, and then I just promote something and attack and win. So this is a real a real checkmate scenario. There is no option for my opponent here. Honestly, the best bet would be Path to the Peak, but again, all I have to do is just Primal Turbo onto this the Drapion and retreat. Right? I don't even have to attack with it. And even if they did put Path to the Peak in play, Primal Turbo just lets me power up the Drapion anyway. So I don't really think there's a good option here. There's really not a good route for my opponent to take. You have to knock out this Drapion. You just absolutely have to. And that leaves them, which they do. They go down to 2 prizes. And if my opponent got the turn 1 KO on the Lugia V, this game would be very, very different. But they didn't. And man, thank goodness they didn't. So all I have to do is just attack. It doesn't really matter. I just Primal Turbo so that I can get some energies. There's a powerful Colorless, and there's an Aurora. So there's the 4 energies. That allows me to attack. That allows me to attack. No, that allows me to attack. I think I was getting a phone call, so don't mind, don't mind the vibration there. Someone was giving me a call, and that's my finger. And yeah, there we go. That's the game. Final 2 prizes. Very well played by my opponent, and yeah, that's Lugia Single Strike for you. So there you go. Urshifu Lugia works for some reason, at least it does right now. I'm going to continue to play it well into rotation until something better comes around, but for now, that's what I'm running. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks to everybody who participated in the webcam war open. You want to play? Check out the links in the video description to join the Discord and get information about it. But yeah, like, subscribe, comment, all kind of stuff, and I'll see you next time. I don't normally do finger guns, but here we are.